Hello friends, welcome to Dr.RAjeshverma YouTube channel, and in this particular video, let us discuss something about the attention. The main topic of your syllabus is nature of attention, whereas we are going to discuss the meaning, definition and various models as well as theories of attention in this particular video. Now let us start with this. The first is, what is the meaning of attention? Attention is a cognitive phenomenon. Some people call it as a precognition. But what does it mean? The efforts required to assemble the cognitive faculties in response of sensory or psychological inputs. The moment we receive some psychological inputs or some sensory inputs, though it may be from external or maybe from internal environment, at that time your cognitive resources or your cognitive faculties get assembled. As in this case, this is the symbolic or the representation image where we try to ensure that how our the cognitive faculties assemble. This is just showing, this is a manifestation. See, this is the assembling of your cognitive faculties. So this process is generally we call as a attention. But in simple words, now let us see, it is a voluntary or involuntary attending to the external or internal stimuli. There are the four combination here. One is voluntary. Voluntary, you are attending to the external or internal stimuli. External stimuli means the stimulus that originate from the environment, external from your body. Whereas the internal stimuli means the stimuli that originate from inside your body. That is your internal stimuli. And involuntary means that where you don't like to attend to these stimuli, but still you are a type of force to attend them. A simple example for that. Suppose you are studying this or watching this video. At the moment, there is a big bang sound comes from outside. At that time, you don't want to get disturbed, but involuntarily your attention shifted to that stimuli which is emanating from the outside, from the external environment. So this is the, dear friends, the exact meaning of attention. That is, it's a voluntary or involuntary attending to the external or internal stimuli. So let us define what is the definition. NCRT book of 11th class book says that the process through which certain stimuli are selected from a group of others is generally referred to as attention. Means out of a group of stimuli, you select only few, and that process is known as attention. What about APA? American Psychological Association says a state, they call attention as a state in which cognitive resources are focused on certain aspects of the environment. In place of these stimuli, they are using a word aspects of environment rather than on others, and the central nervous system is in a state of readiness to respond to the stimuli. This is the comprehensive definition of attention. So with this, you can understand what APA, how they want to define attention is. See, we focus our attention, focus on the certain aspects of the environment rather than the others, leaving others aside, and our central nervous system, that is your internal system which responds to various type of sensory inputs, is remains in the state of readiness to respond to the stimuli that is entering through your senses, or your the receptors are receiving that information. So this is your the two definitions of attention. If we make a gist or take out a juice of these two definitions, we can say in essence attention is the state of awareness centered toward the specific stimuli. That centering of your awareness may be voluntary as well as involuntary. So the basic definition of attention, you can call it as attention is the state of awareness centered towards the specific stimuli. So these are the meaning and definition of attention. Now let us uh, study something Let us introduce some aspects of attention. As I told you, attention is the cognitive phenomenon. Some psychologists or behavioral scientists call attention as a precognition. Precognition means the activity, the process that occurs before the cognitive process takes place. And various people or psychologists or educators or academicians call attention as a cognitive phenomenon. But as far as we are concerned, we consider it is a cognitive phenomenon. And along with that, it's a cognitive arousal, a type of arousal that takes place inside your brain. That is cognitive arousal. The brain has its limited resources that can be pressed into service for maintaining focus upon certain selected stimulus or stimuli. Here is a very important point. That is, you can see here that the resources of the brain are limited as far as processing of cognitive information is concerned. In certain aspects, not all aspects, not other things. Take it as a long-term memory. In that case, the limitation of your brain has no limits. There is no infinite capacity of long-term memory. But as far as your processing of information is concerned, in that case, our resources are limited. So, attention has three important properties. What are that? First is alertness. Then second one is your concentration, and third one is your search. So let us define these three properties one by one. The first one is alertness. What does alertness means? It refers to an individual's readiness to deal with stimuli that appear before her or him. Means there is a state of readiness, state of preparedness. That is your physiological as well as psychological. So psychophysiological preparedness to respond to a stimuli. That is known as your alertness. The second important component of attention is concentration. Concentration refers to focusing of awareness on certain specific objects while excluding others for the moment. Means out of a set of stimuli, you just focus your attention on few stimuli and leaving others aside. That is concentration. The next and the third component of attention is your search. In search, an observer looks for some specified subset of objects among a set of objects. It's a very important point here. Let us take an example from daily life. When we are attending a party, marriage party or some social gathering or function, we find that there are various types of foods, various types of vegetables, curries, sweets, and various type of other food items are displayed there. This means it's a total, you take it as a set of stimuli. These are your stimuli for your tongue as well as for eyes. Out of that stimuli, set of stimuli, we select a subset of that. So we focus on the specific, whatever you like from that set of your food items. Suppose you belong to Kerala. In that case, your focus will be on your Keralite food such as your dosa, idli and uttapam. But if you belong to Haryana, you will most probably going to focus on the butter naan or some tandoori roti. So at that time, out of that full set, we are focusing on a subset, and that is specific one. We are searching for that. We look for that, and that is your search. So there are three important components of attention, that is alertness, concentration, and search. Now let us study two important models of attention. First one is your spotlight model. This can be very understood in simple terms. You take a torch, we generally use during night when you're traveling, or you take a focus light of your car or your vehicle or some scooter or something else. So when you're taking the torch in your hand, you want to see something, you want to illuminate something with that torch. In that case, the moment you press a button, that light travels to the particular point and it illuminates that. Now here is the point. In this model, I'm going to discuss this point after making a reading out of this what I've made in the slide. This model compares focus of attention to a spotlight where attention has a focus as well as a fringe What is fringe here? I'll explain with this in front of you, that image I put up here. I'll explain all the three important points: your focus, your fringe, as well as your margin. When the field of awareness is centered on a particular object or event, it is called focus or the focal point of attention. Here, let us come to our previous example, a searchlight or torch. The torch, you are focusing on some object. The moment you focus there, that objects get illuminated. That object is your focal point or point of attention. On the other hand, on the contrary, when the objects or events are away from the center of awareness and one is only vaguely aware of them, they are said to be at the fringe of attention. Now let us come to the example. We have focused some spotlight on a beautiful insect at night. Suppose you are in your fields and you heard some specific sound of an insect. You focus your torchlight on that insect. The insect is a very beautiful one for you seen your first time. Now the insect or that reptile is your focal of attention. Whereas light doesn't just illuminate that object, it illuminates surroundings too. That surroundings which are less illuminated, because the concentration of that light is less there, that around area forms your fringe. That is known as a similar case happens in your during the attention process. This spotlight model explains that. Some stimuli are your focal of attention, whereas vaguely you just focus on the other stimuli which are just around that, and that is known as your fringe. When the fringe extends out to a specified area and the cutoff is called the margin. Here comes after, now let us come to the torch example. Here, when that after a particular area, you cannot see anything because your light has limitation, and that point, that line out of that, where you inside that you can vaguely see something, out of that you cannot see anything, that imaginary lines forms a margin. And that is the same case with the attention. Out of that fringe you cannot attend to your stimuli. Same is the case here. This is your focus, focal of attention. This whole part that is vaguely illuminated, that is your fringe, and the line that is known as your, or beyond that you call it as a margin. So this is the spotlight model. In this model, the attention is trying to be explained, that we means we can focus on one point but simultaneously have some awareness about the surroundings, and after that surroundings we don't have any extension of our attention. So this is the first model of attention. The second one we'll be discussing here is zoom lens model. That is, you can see from the image here, zoom lens that is used in cameras. This is suggested by the Ericsson and here in 1985. What the zoom does, what you do with the zoom lenses. Let us read out something from the slide. This model conceptualizes that brain resources for attention are allocated according to interest, task demands, or other factors. Means your resources, that is cognitive resources. Why? Because of limited processing capacities. However, there is a trade-off between size adjustment and detail. An increase in the area attended results in decrease in the resolution of details about stimuli within that area. Let me explain you in simple words. Suppose you are focusing a zoom lens on particular image. A beautiful bird has arrived in your house today, and that bird is sitting on the terrace. Now you want to take a picture of that. You want to freeze that image in your freeze that image digitally. So the moment you use zoom is, it depends upon your interest. It depends your task demands. What you want to, what that attention you have focused. The bird is attracted your attention. What is the exact demand of the task? You mean take a photograph, or various other factors, that light, or that you cannot. If you reach to the bird near, the bird will fly away. But you have to take that image also. You use zoom. So what you do is, you fix your zoom to such a point that the bird's maximum details are can be captured. Why? Because if you do not use the zoom, if you take a photograph, there is a capacity of the camera lens. Camera will, though it capture the that bird, but along with that, it will capture all other area that surrounding that bird. In that case, the details of the bird, what is your requirements are minimal. But when you use zoom, you can take the finer details too. You can capture the details too. So while doing that, there is a trade-off between size adjustment and detail, whether you want to take the size of that or take the deeper details or finer details. In that case, the more area we attend to, the lesser the details, means lesser the resolution of that image. Similar is the case with your attention. Larger the focus, the slower processing will be of great reason of the visual scene. Since this fixed resources will be distributed over a large area. Why this happens? Why there is a lesser details or there is a slow processing? Because your brain capacities are limited, and these limited capacities are to be employed a large visual area. You want to capture the larger image. In that case, your brain processing is not going to improve or not going to increase, but that is limited. But with the help of limited resources, you want to capture large area. In that case, you have to compromise with something. There has to be some trade-off. So that is known as your zoom lens model, how we attend to various things or how our attention works. So this is a very beautiful model that explains your attention. Now, along with that, though we are discussing nature of attention, in that case, we have to some important theories of attention. We will discuss that. The first one is filter theory, propounded by the Broadbent in 1956. This theory explains that simultaneously several stimuli enter our receptors. Receptors means your sensory receptors, maybe your visual receptors, your auditory receptors, or your skin receptors, taste buds or taste receptors, or olfactory receptors. All are. They various stimuli simultaneously enter our receptors. The multitude of these stimuli creates a kind of bottleneck. You can see here. The more these stimuli enter here, they create a bottleneck here. Moving through the short-term memory, these stimuli meets a filter. This filter permits only one stimulus to move through it for further processing. Other stimuli are left out. This is the filter theory. So take an example. Let us move to our kitchen. The moment you prepare a tea, you are going to prepare filter that tea. That filter, that sieve you are using, that is a kind of filter. Similar to the filter in your brain. What this filter does? That filter allows only tea to pass and stopping that other ingredients like above that. Just preventing it, only allowing one item to pass through it, because that item will go in your brain and get processed there, and that is the point where we attend to the things. This is the filter theory given by the Broadbent. The second theory, very important, is it is the modification of the filter theory. There is one more word here added here is attenuation. Filter attenuation theory given by the Treisman in 1962, almost after say a gap of 6 years. This theory states that the stimuli which are not allowed to pass through the filter are not completely blocked out. Rather, their strength is attenuated or weakened by the filter. Here, Treisman differs from the Broadbent. What Broadbent said was that filter prevents the entry of other stimuli for the further processing. Whereas Treisman says these stimuli are not totally blocked out. Rather, their strength, their intensity, or you call the magnitude, is attenuated by the filter. Despite being attenuated, some stimuli manage to pass through the filter and reach for higher processing. That is the reason when we are studying, when we are doing something, when we are attending to one part, some stimuli, along with that, we have some idea of something which is occurring in our environment, immediate environment. Why that? Because the main stimuli is entering to our receptors from the what we are attending to, whereas the from the other this information from the other stimuli are though entering our receptors, but a filter is attenuating their strength or their intensity, and but further they are moving to the your brain for further processing, but the processing is at the limited capacity, and that's why we know them vaguely. So this is the second theory given by the Treisman, that is filter attenuation theory. And the third, we are going to discuss, don't worry, only three theories. Third one is the multimode theory of attention. That was given by the Johnston and Haynes in 1978. This theory states that the selection of stimuli for attention takes place in three stages. They say that it is not that we just at the one go we attend to the stimuli. It takes three steps we are attending to a stimuli. The first one, stage one, is sensory representation of stimuli are constructed. The moment the stimuli which are capable of being seen, from that a sensory representation is constructed. That is, such you take an example of visual images. In stage two, semantic representations are constructed of the same stimuli. First one, the sensory representation, that is your visual. Second one is your semantic. We understand the meaning of the stimuli. In the first one, we visualize the stimuli. In the stage 3, both, that is your sensory and semantic representations, enter the consciousness. And from that, we attend to that processing takes place as per your pre-stored information in context of the stimuli, or the stimuli is new, that stimuli information is get processed in your brain, your cognitive functions start functioning, and we attend to the particular stimuli. So this is the multimode theory of attention. Finally, let us discuss something about the factors affecting the attention. What are the important factors that affect your attention? First one is your external factors. External factors, you now I think up to this time you could get what external factors are. Factors that are relating to the stimuli or which are beyond your body, outside your body. These are characterized as external factors. These factors include size. Here it is size of the stimulus, movement of the stimulus, brightness of the stimulus, intensity, newness, etc. etc. Means the larger the size, larger we are prone to attend to that. If there are two objects, there is one is moving, one is stationary. So our tendency to is attending to the movement stimuli rather than the stationary one. Brightness, brighter stimuli are easily attended to. Intensity, newness, etc. To take example of newness, if a new student has come to your college, your class, maybe a girl or boy, that will remain a focus of attention for few hours or few minutes, or you can as per your interest. So that is a newness. So these are the external factors that affect your attention. So the next one is, yes, you guessed right, these are internal factors. So one important point I'll discuss here. Why I put up this image of a moving bus here? Just to represent the internalness. That is internal factors. The factors of which of the perceiver, that is inside your body, such as motivational, that is biological motives, hunger and thirst. The more you are hungry, the more your attention will be moving, diverting to the, or focusing your attention will be on the food items. Your thirst, you are thirsty. In that case, your focus will be on your attention will be on the water. So these are the biological motives that significantly affect your attention. Then comes your cognitive factors, such as what is your interest, your intellectual ability, are you prepared for that? That is your readiness. So these are the cognitive factors that influence the attention. Interest, out of 5 or 6 things, out of 4 or 5 subjects, you are interested in psychology. This shows your interest here. If you are watching this video, this means you are interested in psychology. So this is your internal factor that is influencing or affecting your attention. Intellectual ability means those people who have lesser intellectual ability, or there are some problem with the psychological disorders, or some you can call it a mental retardation. In that case also, attention has very much influenced by these intellectual ability also. Preparedness, how much you are ready to respond to a stimulus. If you are well prepared, means your attention will be rather for longer time or for quick. For example, when you are driving your vehicle or your car, you are prepared to deal with any situations, because see, when driving your car, your one that your right leg always pressing the your accelerator, the but you had a right foot is your accelerator, but you are prepared to shift this your foot on the brake pedal, because there is any situation comes, you will deal with that. That is known as a preparedness, or we call as a readiness. So dear friends, this was all about your nature of attention. We discussed something about meaning of attention, definition of attention, then we came through the various model of attention, finally theories of attention, and the factor of attention. These are my references. You can always cross check them, or you can study for, if you want to study deeper, you can refer them and discuss. Dear friends, in the next discussion we'll focus on the characteristics of attention. So this image are attracting your attention here, because this image has something new for you. It has something brightness also, and it attracts, and something other thing also, the picture is or something else you can call it there. So this image has been presented here for seeking your attention. So next we will discuss something about characteristics of attention. Thank you friends watching for this video. If you like this video, just share with your friends, and if you want to say something, just write in my comment box, or you can email me at varmasujit@email.com. I always welcome your comments, and thank you once again for watching.